In this video, we'll show how you can populate a property grid that is built from a SQL table by making an AJAX callback to get the data to populate the property grid. So you can see here we have a property grid. And when I press this button, we're going to make an AJAX callback and we're going to go get the data for ELF key and populate the property grid. So you'll see that's how it works. So if we go and take a look at the component here, we see we have a property grid. This property grid was built based on a SQL table, the customer table, and we picked these fields from the SQL table. So if we wanted to go and add an additional field, we can go here and add in, say, contact name as an additional field in our prop grid. So now when we go and we save this now and we run it, we'll see that the prop grid has an additional field called contact name there. And now what we'd like to do is populate this prop grid. So when we make an AJAX callback here, we can see that the data gets populated. So the code behind this button is what we'll discuss next. So first of all, we're going to go here and what I've done is I've got a server-side event here, so I can see what gets submitted to the server when the user clicks the submit button to submit the prop grid. And then what I've also got is I've got a button here that does a submit of the component over there. So this is going to show me what the prop grid submitted. So I'll go here. So I'll just go and type in some dummy values, A, B, C, D, and E, and then go ahead and hit the submit button. So when I hit the submit button, I can see that, let's just go and delete that, and then go look at E.data submitted and property grid. So there's the property grid. We can see that the data is all inside it's in a JSON object, and it's inside a variable, a namespace called V. So we've got v.customer ID is A and v.company name is equal to B. So in order to populate this prop grid, we can do a set value of the prop grid, and we would then need to basically set the value using a JSON string that looks like similar to this. So let's go take a look now at how we did this. So if we go back to design mode here, let's go to XBasic and put in a debug 1. Over there. So we'll go ahead now and we'll run it. So we'll press this button to populate. So there's our AJAX callback. So we do a query against the Northwind customer table and we get some JSON back. And so the JSON is in an array. So we're going to basically go here, we're going to pass the array and then just pick out P1. So now we have P1, which is just the JSON for the current row. And the JSON is like this, but it's not in the V namespace that we wanted. So the next thing we're going to do is go and make a new object, PP, with a namespace of .v in it. And then we're going to set pp.v equal to P1. So now if I go here and say JSON generate, and we look at JSON, we can see that we have the JSON in a namespace called V, just like we saw previously when we did a submit. So now we're going to go and generate the JavaScript to send back to the client. So what we do is we say that the JavaScript, we create an object called obj, which is equal to this JSON data. But this obj is not JSON. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go here and say JSON is equal to JSON.stringify of obj, and then we're going to basically do a set value to populate the property grid. So go ahead and just hit run here, and we see that the property grid is populated. So what we've shown in this video is how you can make an AJAX callback to the Alpha server to retrieve data and then use that data to populate a property grid that was built from a SQL table. Thanks very much for watching.